Hello, travelers. Okay, admittedly, it's a small thing, but here's the order of events that transpired. I was scrolling on Instagram just last night, yesterday evening, if you will, as of when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on the the 7th, so who knows when I'll get it up online, hopefully soon. But I was scrolling through Insta, and then I went down a little rabbit hole to threads, and all of a sudden, I saw Last of Us font. I saw some naughty dog letters, and I saw a date. And I was like, oh, dope. And I'm like, hey, babe, from across the room or whatever. Last of Us is coming out in April. That's really cool. Then I started to see footage. I saw like the first few seconds of this footage and realized, oh my god, they dropped another trailer for Last of Us, the show. So being a fanboy, being as big of a fan as I am and defender of both the first game, the second game, well, more so defender of the second game, though I think more people these days are coming around to it. I would say not only am I a Last of Us fanboy, but I'm definitely a Naughty Dog fanboy. In fact, and you know, I hate how this is like a hot take somehow, but I'm very excited for Intergalactic because I recall the day when they announced Last of Us without even having any official gameplay, and I was super excited, and that turned out to be something great. That's a different video, that's beside the point. There's a trailer now for Last of Us Season 2 with an official date of April, so we are just months away, which we kind of knew it was going to be, you know, like, I mean, this year, earlier by summer. But anyway, I'm going to do granted, when I tried to do my other reaction trailer, that one faced some issues with copyright, so I'm sure this one will. If so, you're going to be seeing a lot of weird edits and close shots and a lot of reactions of my face, but that's the whole thing, right? You've come here if you're interested to see me react to it, and then after we watch the trailer together, we're gonna have a discussion about the show and like try to analyze this, and if there is a availability for it, a scene-by-scene breakdown. So first things first, trailer reaction, just pure. I've seen the first few seconds here. The hallway's a little bit different, I notice. I'll talk about it later. But I got the vibe going down. At Bizzle for Rizzle. At Bizzle.
It doesn't matter if you have a code like me.
Oh, I know where that was.
Some things
Oh.
everyone agrees are just wrong.
Alright, we've seen some of these before, but some of these are new. That's not a whole lot to go on. Come on, give us a little bit more. Give us a teaser. Give us a little bit more. What do you say, huh? Oh, fine, fair enough. This will be a much shorter video than I anticipated, but they did give us some new. I do like this. It's little teases here and there. Granted, even though there are those of us that have played the game and are very much aware of how the story's gonna go, in the season of the show, they added some new stuff. They made some major changes. I think the changes they made were very apropos and very fitting for an adaptation. They kept true to the core of the story, main narrative beats, character decisions. I mean, little stuff, little to big, right? Little changes like how instead of in the first episode, they started the game, make it to downtown, small town, but downtown, and get hit by the car, and that's how the crash happens, and then you escape from they escape from there, and then Tommy, Joel, and Ellie have to make a run for it. In the show, there's a clever little nod to that, but bait and switch, where they get downtown, they almost get into a car accident with a vehicle that like matches that same description, and instead they add in the plane crash and the landing gear of the plane taking them out. So that's a little change. Then you have a big change where it's you take a character like Bill, and in the case of Frank, right? Bill developed enough in the first game where you get a feeling for his temperament, his mentality, his proclivities, and then you just kind of like leave it at that as soon as you start to get to know him. And then Frank, you just find his corpse literally hanging from like a randomly abandoned house, and you have to extrapolate the narrative from there. But in the show, you have that beautiful episode, season 1 episode 3, long time, where you develop both characters and almost kind of add a little bit of hope to that universe. I loved what they did with it. I'm super here for it. So all that to say, for the most part, we know what's going to happen in the show, like we just know, but there's plenty of room to make changes, alterations. They said they're stretching the game. I mean, game 2 is a long game. My first playthrough, and I took my sweet time with it. It was just minutes shy of 30 hours way back in the day when I first played it, which you can find on my channel if you're interested. I have a virgin playthrough for Last of Us Part 2. So they already said they're going to like split it into 2 seasons. So I'd be curious to see what changes, major or minor, they'll make. But if we just jump into this, right? So first things first, design's a little bit different here. Assuming this is the infamous hallway, the alarm is the exact same one. We are in the Firefly Hospital, Salt Lake City, Utah, right? We're in the Salt Lake. That's where it is. Am I crazy? I hope I'm not crazy. Well, it's the same hospital where Joel had his you already know if you watch the show. Joel had his rampage at the end of season 1. Non-spoiler aside, I mean, you already kind of know that I'm excited for it. I think that this is already, it's shaping up to be good. It's looking good. Like the first season, we all had our concerns and our worries, but I think between Druckmann being involved and I think between him and Craig Mazin being involved, I think that we're in safe hands once again. I think they firmly delivered on season 1. If you're interested to see my journey and my take on the show in season 1, I also have a full reaction series for that, and I will be doing a full reaction series for season 2, premiere by premiere. It's looking good. I'm excited. There's some stuff I can't really talk too much about it, but we're looking good. The main conversation to be had here is the spoiler talk, and I'll really get into stuff now, but as we know, Joel's come through, spoiler alert and all that, gotten Ellie, but also unbeknownst to us at the time, but now will be revealed, has already, killed Abby's dad as like the head surgeon in there. So it's different in that like this wall over here should be windows. Like unless this is a different hallway. I'm surprised they didn't faithfully, well, maybe it's a different, because I don't see like we should be in pediatric surgery, right? That's where this all takes place, but like this should be a wall full of windows the way they're queuing up this shot, because everything else about this shot, Abby cautiously approaching, and she returns to this in her dreams and her nightmares throughout part 2 when you start playing as her. Yeah, same gun, wearing her Firefly pendant because she's a member of it. I'm curious to get the takes from people who haven't played the second game to like get to, I wonder how they're going to introduce her, how we're going to get to know her, and how that's going to proceed. I'm very curious.
If you have a code like me.
Is that her talking? If you have a code like me. And then we're here in Jackson, Wyoming, because there's Tommy, and I think we were speculating about what point in the story this could be, because with the snow kicking up, you would assume it's tied directly to that big fateful night. But I think it's just a herd warning. Now this gets interesting. So right here with the lighting and the fact that like here it is, it's kind of like dark and woodsy, like foresty, and obviously with the not a scythe. What do you call those things again? I forget. But this is definitely a Seraphite. These are scars. And I don't know if this is Last Night on Scar Island or if it's like a different night, but this is definitely Seraphite territory. Was there something moving right there? I want to know what this gangly figure is, right? No, wait. Because I see a gangly-ish figure, a tired figure perhaps, but I also just noticed more Seraphites here and there. So perhaps an execution's about to happen. Oh, well, with the wiggling, I don't see a bucket, but they could be about to gut them open, because that's the modus operandi, is they would hang them, barely able to like stand on their tippy toes, and they would say like they are nested with sin, and then cut them open and rip their guts out. Of course, Isaac, dude, the fact they got the same actor, I said it once, I'll say it again, keeping Isaac Wright as not Isaac Wright, oh my god, Jeffrey Wright as Isaac, good move. Now I would say this is that rain or snow?
Or just something.
I think it's snow. I was gonna say with the fire, this is the Seraphites' last stand. Although I'm curious, like they never really do make a clear point to say who all survived, because there were massive casualties for both the Seraphites as well as the WLF. But I thought this was that night, but with the snow, I'm thinking we're still in Jackson.
There are just something.
Couldn't tell you about this one. This is the same shot we got from the first trailer where it's like, no, you know what? I think if this is the same thing I'm thinking of, this is in one of the grocery stores in that one of those first missions where Ellie and Dina are scavenging and trying to do their rounds and clear out buildings and whatnot. So if they're in that one grocery store, it looks like the infected crawling out of just some like box or like grocery cashier stand.
things.
Now, the two of them running in the rain, so we're definitely in Seattle by now. I'm trying to place it. This might be, because there's one point when they're escaping the... Yeah, because the rain picks up, like, after that first big old night, right before they're about to make it to the theater. And then they escape the subway. And then it's raining up top. But no, it rains more eventually. But then kind of Ellie's on her own solo rain crusade. But we're definitely in Seattle here. And it looks like a potential train yard coming up.
Everyone agreed.
Nice. Yeah. I think they should be terrified of you.
I think they should be terrified of me.
Yep, that's the dance. That's the oh no, 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 no.
I woke up in the morning at 10:30.
That's when they have their little kissy kiss moment, and then Mr. Bigot Sandwich comes out, and then Joel's like, "Hey, Papa Dragon, don't play that game."
Oh, just what this town needs. Another loudmouth.
Did you just say? Ellie, Ellie, don't.
Get the hell out of here.
Get your hands off me.
And judging by the horses and all that, I figured this would be like the morning after the big incident, maybe, but I could be wrong. Could also just be a patrol. Abby at the grave of her father, definitely. As the ponytail is starting to grow out and her quest for vengeance begins. I'm really curious. I would love to see another actor's take on the character of Abby. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I really hope she doesn't receive death threats like Laura Bailey had to, because that's disgusting. And you, like, the incels at home need to calm down.
Just.
Yep, the subway for sure. Making a run through it with all the train cars as the infected are right outside. Very nice. And the red from the flares. Yeah, we already knew this was coming. Clickers too. Joel. People were speculating because in part 2, Joel, at the very beginning of the game, he confesses to like the one and only person, well, aside from that eventual conversation with Ellie, but he's confessing to his brother not too long after the events have transpired about what he did and the implications therein. But people are thinking that maybe this new character of the therapist could be the one he's confessing to, but we haven't confirmed that they're... I guess they're both in the same room here, but it would make sense to be talking to a therapist as well, but I'd be surprised he'd open up to somebody besides his brother, but we'll see how they handle that. And that's got to be... Let's see, active what? Active mine? Interesting. I was gonna say this is that close to the beginning of the second game, where they stumble upon Abby, where it's Joel, Tommy, and Abby, and they're having to fight for their lives, defend themselves at the ski lodge. But if it's a mine instead, I mean that could make sense too. But like just the context of the scene tells me this is that defense part where they're trying to, and I'm sure they change locations a bit perhaps, where they're trying just to defend themselves from the onslaught while also incidentally saving Abby. This though, like this is screaming like pregnancy, but if that's Ellie, we already established they know, because they cast Ellie's mom as Ashley Johnson. It's got to be something else then. But she's down on a bed with like medical equipment. I'm trying to figure out the context for this scene. That's the big thing. Curious and curiouser. And of course, yeah, that's definitely after it's happened because Tommy has his wound, right? Yeah, guy, I gotta go get he's my goddamn brother. And then, literally, like, you know, Ellie's training, she's boxing, she's mad, she's trying to build up the strength, although she's still like a little guerrilla tactics strain being. Where could this be? The exploding windows? I mean, it could be anywhere, frankly. There's the herd approaching Jackson before we get to Seattle. Now this, I think we know. This was the hunt for Nora, right? The hallway, the red. She's been cornered now. Nora's already infected. The door is locked behind her. Ellie, I don't see any spores, but Ellie's already been breathing them in. She's fine. But this is where I made her talk, right? Like I think she has Nora cornered in this shot here, and she's about to basically beat and torture her to eventual death to get more information on where she can find Abby as we eventually make our way to the aquarium. And then just a final flare in the dark, which I think is just for the sake of setting up the title card here. Season 2 we get in April. Dude, I'm excited. That's like 3 months away. Dude, we got the lineup here. For those that don't know, like I've been specking more into reaction content in this last these last couple years or so. So right now I'm actively watching and uploading Dark. We started Dark. We finished Succession was my first big one, but I've done like Beef, I've done Last of Us, season 1 that is. We did, like I said, Succession. Then, based on viewer recommendations, did an Interview with the Vampire. We've done season 1 of Severance, and the list keeps growing in terms of shows to watch. We're doing Dark now, just a little over a week away from Severance season 2 starting, which is also going to take over my channel to an extent. And now I also plan on watching Mr. Robot in the near future, plus other movies, other shows, even anime at some point that I want to watch. And now we have confirmed Last of Us season 2 coming out in April, and then hopefully we have Interview with the Vampire season 3, The Vampire Lestat, coming out this year as well, though that might be a bit too soon, but I've joined the wait list for that one as well. So suffice to say, we have a lot of content on the horizon, looking at a lot of stuff coming our way. I'm very excited for all of it. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Not a whole lot to delve into. I'm sure I was able to
Milk a nice 10 minutes of discussion out of it.
needless to say, I kind of hope there's not another trailer. Like, right? I want them to keep it nice and vague and only show bits and pieces. I wouldn't be surprised from a marketing perspective if they do one more trailer, like a TV spot here or there, but I'm okay with this. I think, once again, like what season 1 did, I think season 2 is going to offer a plethora of content for both like long-standing fans that are going to be like, like looking at all the stuff they recognize, but also there's going to be a bunch of pleasant surprises and narrative deviations, I am sure. So that's all I gotta say. I'm looking forward to it, same as you guys. Once the show starts premiering, episodes will be up first on Patreon. Full, uncut, uncensored reactions will be on patreon.com/MovieMan101. But of course, YouTube will eventually see everything. That'll have to be edited, of course, because copyright and all that lovely stuff. There'll have to be edits and changes made, but it'll eventually make its way over to the YouTubes. So, in any case, I'll get the content out to everybody sooner or later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for season 2 of The Last of Us. Have a good day, have a good night, and goodbye, travelers.